What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I've been seeing you guys since like Thursday. I wasn't here this weekend. I wasn't in the area this weekend, unfortunately. But as always, I did miss you guys. I always miss you guys. The days I don't record for you guys. Unfortunately, that which happens. It sucks. I always do miss you guys. Always do. But as always, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Big race this weekend. We're in Miami. Miami Grand Prix. Should be a good one. Should be absolute fun. We're looking forward to that. Miami Grand Prix. It's always been pretty good. I've always enjoyed it. You're in the American scene. Well, we're just in Miami. Let's just say that. We're just in Miami this weekend. But I also did see Adrian Newey is leaving Red Bull. Because remember, Red Bull's having some stuff going on internally with like Verstappen, his dad, the whole Christian Horner stuff, what he got going on. Adrian Newey, one of the most decorated, the best, you could say, like car makers, engineers, whatever, has left the team. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he decides to, stay, he goes somewhere else. I'm sorry, not stay. He can't stay because he left the team. But if he's gonna leave somewhere else, or he just retire, who knows what Adrian Newey? But a pretty big loss for Red Bull, you could say. And then lastly, all these announcements have came in since I've talked to you guys. Nico Hulkenberg is going to leave Haas at the end of the season to join, Kick Sauber? I think a pretty cool move for Nico. Happy for him. Hopefully I got that right. I checked it a few days ago, and I haven't really checked it since then, so I'm just going off of pure, memory. But as always, if I do forget, knowing me, I'll just, you guys will correct me as always. Anyway, we have the youngest drivers to ever start F1 race. Last F1 video, we talked about the oldest driver to win the F1 race. This one, the sixth youngest to start. Shout out to WTF1 as always, boys and girls. Don't forget to sub, and like. Anyway, let's get started, man.
Youngest drivers to ever start an F1 race. Fernando Alonso, 19 years and 218 days. The Spaniard went on to become a two-time world champion and is regarded as one of the best F1 drivers of all time. But his career all started from humble beginnings with beloved backmarkers Minardi in 2001. Despite an uncompetitive car, Alonso still managed to shine. After a year as a test driver for Renault, he stepped up to race for the team in 2003, becoming one of F1's youngest ever winners in Hungary. He then took the 2005 and 2006 world titles before moving to McLaren. When that quickly soured, he returned to Renault and then switched to Ferrari. Alonso came close to a third title several times during his stint at the Scuderia, but it wasn't meant to be. For 2015, he moved back to McLaren, but as we all know, that hasn't gone too well so far. Ricardo Rodriguez, 19...
You know what I've always said about Fernando Alonso? He's driven with some the best teams in F1 history. The most notable names, McLaren, Ferrari. I mean, those two itself is pretty big. It's pretty amazing. Also, the Renault days and how big Renault was back in the day as well. So
18 years and 208 days. When Rodriguez was given a guest drive for Ferrari at the 1961 Italian Grand Prix, he became F1's youngest driver at the time. It was unusual for a driver to start an F1 race at such a young age back then, but he actually challenged at the front of the field until a fuel pump failure ended his race. Rodriguez raced for the Prancing Horse 4 times in 1962 and also finished second in the non-championship Pau Grand Prix, then being entered in the 1962 Mexican GP with Rob Walker Racing.
Bro.
Sadly, he died in a crash during practice after his Lotus car suffered suspension failure. Mike Thackwell, 19 years and 182 days. Thackwell's first attempt at racing in F1 at the
that sucks. Sorry about that, Mr. Rodriguez. All prayers, condolences go to him. Dang, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. But I will say, this car right here, delivery. Hey, I like it. This car goes tough. Maybe it's just the white and the blue just meshes really, really together. But this livery is low-key tough. Y'all know me, man. When I see a livery I like, from present or the past, whatever, or the future, y'all know me, man. I'm a big livery fanboy. Big livery fanboy. The colors just mesh. These colors just mesh very well, man.
1980 Dutch Grand Prix was an unusual one. As a test driver for Tyrrell, he was at the race, but was approached to drive for Arrows before practice. He failed to qualify, but then debuted in F1 at the Canadian Grand Prix later on. He started the race, but a big shunt on the first lap meant he was forced to give up his third car to one of the team's other drivers for the restart, so he was classified as a retirement. Thackwell made only 3 more F1 appearances, failing to qualify for 2 and retiring at the Canadian GP in 1984. He then went went on to race in Formula 3000, Formula 2 and endurance racing. Jaime Alguersuari, 19 years and 125 days. Like Verstappen, Alguersuari was another driver to get moved into an F1 seat at Toro Rosso at a young age. He wasn't quite on the same level as Verstappen though, but at the time he became F1's youngest driver. Alguersuari showed flashes of speed for Toro Rosso during his time there, having debuted at the 2009 Hungarian Grand Prix as a replacement for the Sebastian Bourdais. He scored 10-point scoring finishes in his F1 career, but was not retained for 2012. He's since raced in Formula E and launched a career as a DJ. Lance Stroll, 18 years and 117 days. When Lance Stroll was announced as the second driver for Williams' F1 team at the tender age of just 18, a lot of people said he wasn't ready for Formula 1, despite winning the Formula 3 title by over 100 points. Lance had a tough start to the season, with crashes in testing and an especially lackluster first few races. Fast forward 6 months and the critics have somewhat been silenced by scoring his first ever podium in Baku and...
Now, this was 6 years ago when this video was made, obviously. Lance Stroll. That's my last plea, bro. I need you to get right at some point. I've criticized you. I don't think you're that good, personally. And you're talking, this is from me, who's still learning F1 after like 2.5, 3 years now. Yeah. Your performances at times just irritate me, bro. But I know you can do it. You gotta match Fernando, bro. Fernando's kicking your butt again. Back-to-back years, Fernando is just killing, bro. Gotta match that. Last race. You and Danny Rick hitting. Come on, bro. Come on, Lance. Guys, to be honest, bro, Lance Stroll probably should have been gone from Aston Martin, to be honest. If that wasn't the owner or president, whatever, bro would have been gone. Y'all let me know if that's true or not in the comments down below. But
stunning everyone with a front row grid position for the Italian Grand Prix in treacherous conditions. Max Verstappen, 17 years and 166 days.
Okay, so I see about Verstappen. Obviously, we know about his debut win in F1. How in the world is it legal to be able to drive an F1 car at 17, but you can't get your license? Well, in the States, really, but he's not old enough to drive a car. But he's old enough to drive an F1 car. But he's not old enough to drive a regular car.
You may recognise that name. Verstappen's swift move up to F1 after just one full season racing in the European Formula 3 series caused a huge amount of controversy. When he started the 2015 Australian Grand Prix, he took the world record for the youngest ever F1 driver by quite some margin. Was it all too early? Granted, he was a little rough around the edges at the beginning of his F1 career, but reliability permitting, he is more than a match for his current Red Bull teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Plus, he's an F1 race winner and is unsurprisingly being tipped for big things.
It's so crazy. Hearing this back in the day now, just seeing how good Verstappen is now, and he's looked at as a freaking generational driver, and probably in some people's eyes, probably going to go down as the best driver of all time. Shout out to WTF as always, but hey, Max Verstappen, Rodriguez, rest in peace. A lot of good drivers, man. It's a lot of good names. I feel like we're missing a few more now. Who else, man? Who else is missing off the list? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. As always, boys and girls, don't forget to like and sub as well. See you guys then. Peace.